Hello there, my friends. How are you? I hope you're well. I hope you answered aloud to the computer when I asked. I'm the author. I'm Jeremy Siskind. I'm the author of Solo Standards for Piano, the Jazz Piano Fundamental Series, and, of course, your old classic, playing solo jazz piano. And today I want to show you a method of, I guess it's reharmonization, but it's very subtle reharmonization that you can use to make your playing sound more sophisticated, or I don't know if it's even more sophisticated, it's just going to give things a slightly different color than they usually have. So what we're going to be talking about is equivalencies or near equivalencies between modes of the major scale on one hand and modes of the melodic minor scale on the other hand. And then we're going to look at a tune, we'll look at all the things you are, and I'll show you how you can replace one with the other to give it a slightly more exotic feel. So just for instance, before we dive in, here's a regular old All the Things You Are. Okay, nothing in the world wrong with that. Beautiful. I love it. But if you want to do something a little different, we're going to end up today with a conclusion that sounds more like... not necessarily better, hopefully not too much worse, but just a little different. So let's dive in, and first thing we're going to talk about is which modes of the major scale are easily replaceable with an equivalent mode of the melodic minor scale. So let's use this view, see if that works. Cool, so we're going to start with minor chords, and generally, although it's more complicated than this, but generally if we see a minor chord in a lead sheet, if it's a 2-chord, we use the Dorian mode. If we want to replace that with a mode from the melodic minor scale, we could use just the melodic minor scale, the first mode of the melodic minor scale. It's just got one note different, right? Instead of a B flat, instead of the lowered 7th at the end, as we have, oh, my pencil's not working. Isn't that fun? Huh. Well, I guess we'll do it like that. Oh, I just reset my thing. Okay. It's going to be fine, guys. It's going to be fine. Instead of having like that B flat at the end, we have a B natural. So we go from this to this. A little bit more mysterious. Okay. All right. So that's for minor chords. For major chords, usually if we see a major chord, we're going to use the major scale, aka the Ionian mode, if you want to sound fancy. But there's this really beautiful mode in the melodic minor scale. It's the third mode of the melodic minor. So if you look on the page, this is like A melodic minor starting on C. And this gets you a sharp 4 and a sharp 5, right? Much more mysterious, much more interesting. All right. For dominant chords, there's actually 3 different modes that we use from the melodic minor scale. You have 2 of them here because I didn't want to stuff them all on the same line. Okay, so most typically would use the Mixolydian mode if we see a dominant chord normally. From the melodic minor scale, we could use the Lydian dominant, which would raise the 4th from that Mixolydian mode. Or we could use the altered scale, which sometimes goes by the name supralocrian or diminished whole tone. And the easiest way to find this in any key is to take the scale and flat every single note other than the root. A fascinating and very useful scale. On one hand, it's very different than the Mixolydian mode. On the other hand, we use this all the time, so it's not that crazy. Now, a really interesting sound from the melodic minor scale is a dominant 7th with a flat 6th or a flat 13th. We could say it either way. You really hear the minorness of that, right? So that's from the F minor, or F melodic minor scale. It's starting on the 5th note. And then the last one I want to show you is a really subtle change. It's very common to use the Locrian mode. I'm having some slight tech issues. It's very common to use the Locrian mode on half diminished, but we can change just one note and it becomes melodic minor scale. If we change the D flat, the 2nd note, to a D, then we get the melodic minor mode. I'll give you a better angle so I don't have to hold that. So here's Locrian mode. By itself, very mysterious sounding, right? Versus here's the Locrian natural 2, or some people say Locrian raised 2 or Locrian sharp 2. In this case, the mode from the melodic minor scale is actually a little bit darker. Nope, let me say that again. The mode from the melodic minor scale is actually a little brighter than the one from the major scale because it has this raised 2nd degree. So those are some equivalencies that you can keep in mind. Now, I want to go over to the tune All the Things You Are. I'm going to make this nice and big. And let's put these equivalencies into action. So on these first 2 chords, we're going to use the melodic minor scale for both of them. So it's going to be like F, let's do this in red. It's going to be like, we're basically going to play F minor major 7 and B flat minor major 7 here. So and how about for the E flat 7? Let's do E flat Lydian dominant. So like E flat 7, flat 7, sharp 11. And then for the major 7th, we're going to replace it with that Lydian augmented sound. So it's going to be A flat augmented major 7. That's a 7. And then same thing for the D flat major 7. We're going to just replace it, just a 1-for-1 swap. D flat augmented major 7. And let's make this G7 altered. That's what it really wants to be. And then again, we're going to do a major chord, so C augmented major 7. Let's see what happens. So again, here's the original. And with these melodic minor modes, we get this. Okay, we're going to get very similar results in the second A section, because the second A section is the same as the first one, just transposed by a 4th, but that doesn't need to stop us. So these minor chords, we're going to replace with minor major 7th chords. Let's switch to green. Just get it a little more colorful. I don't want it to look too Christmassy. Okay, so we got some minor major 7th chords happening here. And let's go ahead and use the dominant 7th flat 13th, that 5th mode of the melodic minor. Might sound very much like dominant 7th sharp 5, but I'll try to include the natural 5 in the voicing. And then E flat augmented major 7. And A flat augmented major 7th. And then we'll make sure on this half diminished chord it's not really a good place to put in the 9th, so it's not going to make a big difference whether we're using Locrian or Locrian raised 2. It's kind of all going to be the same. We'll make this D7 alt and then G augmented major 7. So listen to this one and I will let you see, assuming that's working. Oh, it is good. So augmented major 7 has such a beautiful upper structure, and what I mean by that is I can use like a B major above that chord. And you could add in the second or the fourth with that. Now let's look at the bridge. How about for this? This is a minor chord, but it could be a half diminished. So let's make this an A half diminished, and we'll use that A half diminished 9 sound. Let's make this D7 sharp 11th. I'm trying to match the melody. I only have really one good major option as far as I'm aware. If you can think of others, let me know. This is going to be like F sharp half diminished 9, which probably most people would play anyway. Let's do B7 sharp 11, and then E augmented major 7. So I think this is pretty cool, right? You do have to be a little bit careful of the melody notes. I chose All the Things You Are because it has a lot of thirds and sevenths in the melody, and therefore you're not really going to run into too many problems because you're not going to be changing the thirds and sevenths too much. If you like this kind of thing, if that's really attractive to you, reharmonizing, coming up with different colors, I bet you'd like Jazz Piano Fundamentals Book 3, which talks about a lot of kind of common ways to slightly modify chords, cut modal interchange, change the mode so that we come up with different colors. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched this far, why don't you say something about me having to connect my Apple Pencil, because I totally failed to do that. Thanks for watching, everyone.